Hello there. Check me out with my selfie stick. Feel all trendy in that. Well, Happy New Year, first of all. Happy New Year, mustn't forget that. 2026, the year of the fiery horse in Chinese astrology. I think that begins in February. It's all about affirmative action. Oh yeah. So about 2 or 3 weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago I think, my family finished our year's worth of volunteering on organic farms, like the woofing programme, and it's been an absolutely phenomenal experience, quite life-changing. There was good and bad experiences, but on the whole it was one big lesson, one really big lesson. And I learnt so much, not just farming either. The spiritual progression I went through this year was amazing and very much needed as well. But yeah, there were so many good experiences, and the funny thing is, when it finished, we ended up in Shropshire. Actually, we ended up in Shropshire at the last farm we was at. It was absolutely beautiful in the Clun Valley, and they had the old hairy coos, they had the big hairy cows with the horns, and I worked with them for quite a bit, did a fair bit of work with them, and that was fantastic. It was like a ranch come nature reserve. It was beautiful, and like the Shropshire Hills are absolutely beautiful. Lovely little quaint villages, just nestled in these valleys, and we saw so much beautiful spaces and places in this country. Such a gorgeous country. But anyway, we finished after we left Shropshire, came to Yorkshire in Doncaster for family. Oh, it's like entering an industrial wasteland. After being like close to nature for like a whole year, then you come back into so-called civilization. You just get this overwhelming feeling of oppression and just this industrialisation of grey, and the pylons, the vast expanse of property development, which is really bad in some places, and the renewable energy, like the fucking windmills and the solar panels. So like basically property development and renewable energy are just globalist speak for destruction of the countryside, and you really see it when you come back into it. Like I say, I've stepped away from it for a year, and just being with animals and other people who care about farming and the land, and it makes all the difference. And so many people are, well, the conversations I've had, so many people seem to be gravitating more and more to this way of life, and realising that it's a necessity that we get back to nature and start working in harmony with the divine intelligence that runs through all things. But yes, it was a wonderful experience, and it was so lovely to be with my family every day. There were moments it felt a bit pokey, but I dealt with it better than what Lou did. But she'd had enough of the motorhome by the end of the year. I mean, I guess I had as well, but yeah, we got to find somewhere to live now. That's the next adventure. Get on with that. But the woofing thing, I got, there's some good places and some bad places. There was a couple of farms where one was a bit piss takey, like commercial veg picking, and there's a couple of farms were like right in the climate cold, and that was a bit like, oh god, really. Yeah, and but you just have to, a big thing I learnt with all this as well, like knowing what I know and what I talk about and that, it's just letting people be and letting them figure it out. I engage in conversation, but like whereas before I'd be a lot of the time be a bit too pushy, like, oh that's wrong and this is wrong and all that. It's just like, just have a conversation. Talk about facts by all means, but in like a conversational way. It's just like meeting people where they are, and I have had to learn that because like previously I have been like, and I think that's all part of the waking up process and the trauma, because like when you realise how bad things are, it's almost like a fear response. Like, no, you can't do that because it's, you've got these evil people behind it, and that's why they want you to think and do this because this is their agenda, and like, oh my god, don't you know this? And it's like, so I don't do that anymore, and now I focus on just, as you know, just creating my own content, and then people can come to that in their own time. Because seeking ye shall find. If you want the truth, you will find it. And there's plenty of people speaking the truth. It's just that you have to pursue that avenue, and you have to have an insatiable appetite for the truth. And you will find it and then devour it, if you so wish. But I strayed off from woofing, didn't I? Some people, like, there was different attitudes. Some people just want, it's just slave labour a lot of the time. When it's supposed to be on a voluntary basis, and they're supposed to do like the bare minimum regarding like food and electricity and all that, and it was different wherever you went. But I just did whatever needed doing. Right? I just got stuck in because there's so much experience to be had, and as I say, I learnt so much, especially regarding animals. Animal husbandry, that was, because that's my thing, like the veg, I like veg, and I know a little bit about it, and I'd like to have a little market garden or whatnot, but animals I just love it. I love being around animals and working with them. And when you go to a farm that hasn't got animals, it's like it hasn't got any soul. Yeah, it really makes the farm. But when you live on the land like we were doing, and really getting stuck in and involved, you realise that we all want the same things. And I would say that we all want these things. So food, water, shelter, warmth and love. So that's 5 things. And so, and that conjures up in my mind the meaning and ethos of the law of one, which is, if we allow one to suffer, then we allow for the conditions for us all to suffer. So if we all need those basic 5 things, surely we should be creating the conditions by which we can all not suffer, because we all make sure that each other has those things. And then that feeds into like the Steiner's threefold social organism, which is basically about brotherhood and cooperation, so that we all have each other's needs met, and and equity, or all equality under the law, all being equal under the law, which is why I'm always banging on about our common law constitution, because that is the epitome of equity, all being held equally under a system of law, common law, which is our trial by jury. And regarding that, I engage in a lot of conversations, or try to, on X, especially of late, regarding the furore of the Lammy proposals and whatnot. And I was blocked by it's called the Secret Barrister on X. And I don't know why, but I mean, all I was doing was pointing out the constitutional facts regarding the rule of law, and how basically the public servants don't have or cannot alter, restrict or undermine the people's sovereignty through trial by jury, because that's how we protect our liberties, by judging on the justice of the law. And yeah, I was blocked by the secret barrister. Cameraman's not doing his job. Yeah, and I just thought that was odd. But what I'm getting at is, I don't think people in the legal profession like being pulled up that they're either A, constitutionally illiterate because they believe in parliamentary sovereignty, or there's an element of snobbery there, because they're being pulled up by laymen such as myself and other people who aren't legally trained. And there's nothing wrong with being legally trained, because it definitely has its place within a court of law, but there are fundamental principles that must be adhered to for there to be fairness and equity within a nation and community. And so, but I mean, none of these people, or barristers or people in the legal profession, none of them have responded. And like, I'm right to the point. I'm like, you know, basically it's treason. It's a crime for public servants to even suggest to remove our trial by jury. They cannot do it. Why? Because you're preventing justice. It's a perversion of the course of justice, because you're removing the equitable means by which the citizenry protect other citizens from oppression by judging on all acts of law enforcement, because a community wouldn't allow crime to happen or to be committed to its fellow citizens, because obviously they could be in that situation themselves. So through a jury you learn that we've got to look after each other, we've got to be fair and impartial and prevent crime. But they're trying to prevent that from removing trial by jury. So I would like 2026 to be a year of mass constitutional literacy, real dedication and effort to really learn the specifics. Now, the coronation oath, how important that is as a cornerstone, and trial by jury, the central pillar that holds up everything regarding our sovereignty and our liberty, and how that is the mechanism by which we keep oppression at bay. by judging on all acts of law enforcement, to keep us safe from all species of oppression, especially the ones that are serving us or supposed to be serving us. Because under common law, no one is free from prosecution, no one is immune, because if that's not the case, then we're not all equal under the law, and then we're in a despotism. It's a very, very simple concept. All equal under the law. Right, I'm lost. But, I'm not familiar with these here parts, but I'll just keep walking, it's not that big of a woods. I wonder if there's anything else I need to address. I'm going to run out of battery soon anyway, my phone's diabolical, the battery is really crap. But anyway, to summarise, had a wonderful year, some wonderful experiences, and as Steiner has pointed out, we need to get back to nature as part of our evolutionary progression as a species. And this satanic inversion of the industrial wastelands and the system of slavery we're all forced to live under, it's being rejected more and more. But the key to dismantling all this misery and suffering is to sort our system of governance out. So we need to restore our ancient common law constitution. So yeah, let's make this a year of constitutional literacy and be passionate about our liberties and freedoms and the framework that guarantees those principles. Righto, bye for now.